What's up, guys? K Wills here to bring you my review of Star Wars Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 10, Secret Weapons. And in this week's episode, 5 Republic droids were chosen on a mission to retrieve a encryption module from the Separatists. And the reason why they needed to do this was because the Jedi Council intercepted a message from General Grievous. However, they can't decode the message, and the Jedi Council fear that um, pretty much the Separatists are planning a huge attack somewhere. So that's why it's important to retrieve this encryption module so that they can be able to decipher the message. And within this group of the 5 droids, we see R2D2. It was pretty cool to see him because with R2D2, recently we haven't seen much of him, and when we do, it's pretty much he's on random adventures with C3PO. So it's pretty cool to see R2D2 in an important position where his actions will actually matter on the fate of the whole Republic as a whole. And pretty much there was just 4 astral droids, including R2D2, and one other droid. It was a humanoid droid. It's small. It had like one eye. It's very familiar. I've seen this countless times, but I can't remember the type of droid. But pretty much his name, he called himself Whack. And Whack, he was pretty much the within the droids, he was the guy, a droid who, whenever time there's like an mission, there's always like the hot shot of the group. He wanted to be the leader of the droids, and he wanted to stand out and pretty much be the focal point of the group. And he was had some funny points throughout the episode, and Mace Windu was explaining the details, and these droids, of course, they're all highly skilled, so that's why they were all chosen. And also, we were introduced to the leader, Colonel Meeber Gascon, and he's pretty much is a very small slug humanoid creature. He was kind of funny throughout the series, and his role was pretty much like that military officer who was very strict, and then he took pride in his rank, and he even said he wanted to be promoted after the mission to brigadier general. So he cares about that military officer that strict and everything. That's what we got from the colonel. And I thought the colonel was a cool character too. Just the way how he was acting. Even though he was so small, he's acting like he was such a powerful person. It was just funny throughout this episode. And so pretty much, Whack, when they're heading out towards the mission, well, first of all, 3 of the droids, including R2D2, get upgrades. R2D2, he gets an upgrade with his jet boosters. The pink droid actually gets like a magnet that's able to like a very strong magnet that was used to collect the mines that would actually be protecting the encryption module. And then finally, the yellow droid, he had like a powerful laser. This Whack didn't get an upgrade because he was the pilot for the ship, and the green droid, unfortunately, he had to get his memory wiped out in order to for the colonel to actually use him as like a command post. It was kind of sad for for a droid to lose his memory, but it has to be done. And throughout this episode, Gascon, you see that he's the type of character that he doesn't really think highly of the droids. He thinks of them almost as tools because when he learned that the green droid had to lose his memory and then he actually gets taken out during the episode, he's like, okay, whatever, he's just a droid. But later on, as the episode progresses and it ends, he finds that these droids are very useful and that they need to be taken more with care. You know what I mean? Like as soldiers, as he put it. Soldiers. Excuse me. It's been a long day. So pretty much, the whole thing with stealth and infiltration into the separatist ship, I thought was pretty well done. And the ending, there wasn't really much action this week's episode, except for like the ending where they fought like the super battle droids and other droids, and but maneuvering with zero gravity. But other than that, that's pretty much what happened. This infiltration and everything. One cool thing I saw from this episode was when pretty much the green droid was taken out of commission, and when everybody else, when the colonel and the other droids got the module, at first, the colonel he wanted to leave, but however, the other droids were like, you can't just leave him, and it was kind of cool to see that moment because with with war and everything, with soldiers, they have this like unwritten, code. Leave no soldier gets left behind. And in this case, it's like no droid gets left behind, and they carried the green droid back to the ship so that he can get repaired. So I thought that was pretty cool to see. Um, the droids play out being more human emotions like that. And pretty much at the end, after they escape, they all seem to be on good terms, and they all seem to work well as a team, as real soldiers, as the Colonel put it. And that's pretty much it with this week's episode. You know what I mean? With like, there's nothing really much to say about the infiltration. It was just, regular. You guys seen it, so it's no point for me to re-explain it. However, I would say overall, this episode, it was decent, but it felt like filler to me. Like, I understand that, it was cool to see R2D2 in an important position where, with this new arc, so it's pretty sure it's going to be another 4-part arc. Because I have to say, first of all, I'm surprised that with this season that they're going about this by arcs. Because in the past seasons, what they did was that they would have individual episodes, and then they'll have like an arc here and now and then. It used to be like, what, 2 arcs per season or something like that, 2 or 3. But in this season, it's like arc after arc after arc. It's non-individual episodes. Which I thought was pretty interesting by the creators to do that. But anyways, yeah. But with R2D2, that was a good thing. But this episode, it just felt like filler. You know what I mean? Like, it was just buying time for, like, what a lot of people want to see. Darth Maul, the Death Watch, and all that good stuff later on. But what I am looking forward to with this arc is the debut of the Clone Commando Gregor, because we all know about the Clone Commandos and how they're beasts. They're the elite among regular clone troopers, and they were trained for infiltration, demolition. All those really hard missions. So it's going to be great to see Clone Commando Gregor when he gets introduced, probably either next week or the week afterwards. But it was cool to see some commando action. That's what I'm looking for. But probably most people are looking for with this arc for the droids. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it felt like filled to me, but I did thought the episode was decent. I mean, I didn't think it was horrible or anything like that, but it just felt like filler to me with these droids. Let me know your thoughts down below. What you thought about this week's episode. What you liked about it, disliked about it. Predictions for the Clone Commando Gregor when he gets introduced later on. And it's actually interesting because if this is going to be a 4-part um, arc, I think that perhaps maybe in next week's episode the droids are going to go after the ship, and then they're going to land on Tatooine, because I think that's when they had a preview with the Clone Commando. I believe the planet was on Tatooine, so maybe that happens. Who knows? But yeah, leave your thoughts down below. Predictions for that. Your thoughts on the episode. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this review, and yeah, subscribe if you did for more reviews and other videos that I do on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.